Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Big Home Ed Conversations. My name is Kelly Rigg. I am a home education mindset coach, and I work with families as they transition to home education. Now, I am also one of the co-hosts of this podcast. Usually it's myself and Ashley, but this summer I have been doing a Get Your Head Straight to Home Ed summer series. I do apologise for the last episode no longer really being in summer. I've got to be honest, as I look out my window and see the sheets and sheets of rain coming down, I am not surprised at all to say that, as per usual, the weather has dropped off a cliff as it entered September. But we are going to enter this world with positivity because I have a big welcome for you. I appreciate that there's a very good chance that if you've been listening to this series, and it is now September, that you are now officially a home educator, that you have probably recently deregistered your kids or kid and are getting into the thick of it. Now, I thought, therefore, that the last episode of this series would be a bit of a recap, but also to kind of really establish what those first 90 days should look like. And what I believe, anyway, is the most important things for you to be considering as you enter into your home education world. Your new lifestyle, your new trajectory. And ultimately, it's all about helping you to feel grounded, to feel reconnected, to start observing, and to actually start to feel like you have got some control over the messy chaos that is that very early stage. Kind of imagine it a little bit like cooking an elaborate Christmas dinner, that the mess, my goodness, the mess and the prep and the effort that goes into it. And we get stuff wrong and we end up burning the mashed potatoes. Oh, goodness, don't burn the mashed potatoes. Burn the roast potatoes at the very least. If you're burning the mashed potatoes, I don't even know what we're doing wrong. But ultimately, you are going to be having all kinds of chaos kicking off. Like there is going to be screaming and excitement and fighting and people talking about presents and somebody drinking too much and all of the things that are happening, right? All the crazy stuff that happens around making a Christmas dinner. And we know 100% that it's still going to feel pretty darn connected and delicious and wonderful when we all sit around the table and we pull those crackers and we laugh and joke together. Now, I appreciate this is obviously my random little example here, but we know that the concept of home education is great. As someone who knows it, I know it is. And I know that you guys are going to have a wonderful time in it. But this initial stages, the planning, the thinking, the kind of get your head around it, my goodness, it's overwhelming and it's okay for it to feel that way. Now, I basically want to establish with you 3 R's. We're going to go with regulate, then reconnect, and then read. And no, I don't mean reading or writing or books. What I mean is observing. So those are going to be our 3 R's that we're going to work with as we work our way into this first 90 days. The first one, regulate. Now, if you happen to have neurodivergent kids, you will have heard the term co-regulation, regulate, dysregulation so many times that you're sick of hearing yourself say it. But what I want to talk to you about, as somebody who maybe doesn't know what these terms really mean, I'm just going to give you a very brief recap on the concept. But essentially, we all have a nervous system. And depending on your sensitivities to your environment, to the things that you're trying to do, to your internal world, you are going to have essentially a profile that indicates to the world what indicates to you, rather, what bits of the world feel overstimulating, what feels understimulating. When you're hungry, when you're thirsty, when you're tired, our body is giving us signals all the time. But actually, one of the things that gets trained out of us so strongly during our school years is how to stop listening to those signals. We get told when to eat. We didn't have access to water until break times. We couldn't even go to the toilet until the break times. We just had to hold it. Like we had to learn to finish our work before we were allowed to go in and relax. Like all these different things. And there are so many hang-ups and limiting beliefs attached to our regulation of our bodies. It's not even funny. It's a massive, massive issue in the current mental health state of this country, is that actually most people are trained not to listen to their body's needs. Now, if you are not listening to your body's needs, or you actually regularly skip lunch, or you don't drink enough, or you find you've got a headache all the time, you've done nothing about it, if you've got a stiff neck and you never do any yoga, like whatever it is, just listing off things that I do here, then ultimately you are not regulated. Your body is not regulated. Your nervous system is not regulated. It is experiencing danger. It is feeling unsettled. And it's nervous and it's scared and it doesn't know when it's going to be taken care of again. Now, as mothers, if you're a mother, and fathers do it too, we are ultimately not often very well regulated. We don't take good enough care of ourselves. We don't really understand why it's so important a lot of the time, because we've always been told it's fine to be sacrificial, to ignore that need to eat or ignore that need to drink or ignore that need to sleep, that it's okay to sacrifice ourselves because we've got kids and we're supposed to be doing everything for them now. Before it was our employers, before it was our teachers, and before that was our parents. But ultimately, we've been taught to sacrifice for the better good of other people. But what that's actually causing is a chronic dysregulation in your body. It raises your cortisol, it reduces your health, it overall makes you very stressed and miserable. It actually means that this can feel even more overwhelming. Now, to flip this and look at your child, they have been in school, possibly. Like, I imagine for the most part, you're deregistering, you're coming into home education. That's kind of how you found yourself here. If you have started home education without school, then this is one step that you maybe won't have quite so much of. But if your child's been at nursery, if they get taken care of by people who don't actually feel the same way as you do and maybe parent them slightly differently, they may have gotten some of these messages anyway. And equally, you may have accidentally, inadvertently passed them on yourself in your own parenting of them, maybe before your brain has been starting to think about things a bit differently. The point is that they have also been experiencing these hang-ups. They have been put into a routine and a schedule that has taught them not to listen to when their body needs things. And ultimately, coming into home education is dysregulating for everybody, because all of a sudden, you have got the opportunity to suddenly do the things that you need to do. And they might want to binge screens. They might want to eat loads. They might want to sleep loads. They might want to never talk to anybody again right now and just be shut in their bedroom, just be completely isolated, listening to music on their own. Maybe they want to be out seeing their friends all the time because it's like, I'm free. I can go out and do it whenever I want. Like, this is amazing. Like, there's going to be an element of really dysregulated time that comes with these first few months where things are not going to necessarily feel like the status quo. Your routine is shot. Your nervous systems are a little bit all over the place. You're both trying to adjust to a new pace of life, a new way of doing things. It's going to feel really weird. And I guess what I'm trying to get across here is that that's okay. It's okay for it to feel messy. It's okay for it to feel a bit wrong, for nobody to be quite right, for maybe people to be a little bit hot-tempered or to be a little bit sad or to be a little bit confused. And you may even find that your children will ask to go back to school because actually the feeling of not having that rigidity around them anymore might feel really, really hard. It might feel really weird. But ultimately, what our goal is in these initial stages is to breathe, right? There's a number of very basic things that we could be doing here. Breathe. So make sure we notice our breath. Is it fast? Is it shallow? Slow down your breath. If you're feeling anxious or stressed, overwhelmed, slow down your breath. Have a drink of water. Even if you don't feel that thirsty, drink another one. We know we're not drinking enough. Just drink another glass of water. Eating something. Please don't skip your meals. Please make sure you're snacking on healthy, nutritious, useful things, or non-nutritious if necessary. I don't really care what you eat. Just eat something. Then ultimately, sleep. It's super hard to switch off and go to sleep at night nowadays. We've got so many temptations to stay up late. And especially if we've had a stressful day, the urge to stay up late is really, really hard. I am not going to lecture you on going to bed on time because I cannot get myself into a good bedtime routine to save my life. But what I will ask you to do is to just notice if you are feeling tired, and therefore could you try and give yourself a little bit more sleep, whether that's sleeping in, whether it's going to bed a bit earlier, whether it's sometimes just getting an early night just to catch up a bit and to make yourself feel a bit better. But try and notice how sleep makes you feel, like whether you actually feel better or worse for the type of sleep that you are getting and how often you are getting to sleep. And if you need to nap, nap. If you need to lie in one day, lie in one day. And if your kids need that too, then please allow them to do it. Give them a chance to re-regulate and to get their sleep back on track. It will stabilize, it will get back and balanced again. But for now, just give yourself all a chance. Those are the key ones. Those are obviously the basic survival skills. But you've also got all of the sensory stuff too. They may be getting overstimulated by loud environments. They may find the need to come and sit at a table to do education too hard. You have got some stuff to be working on here that is going to make it feel really tricky for a little while. But we're going to move on to that in a second. But for now, try and anchor yourself. deal with the basics of human survival, meet your needs, encourage them to meet theirs, encourage them to communicate theirs, encourage them to allow theirs to be as messy and chaotic as they need to be for a little while. Okay. Then we're going to move on to reconnect. Okay. There's a really good chance that obviously I can't speak for every type of parenting, every type of situation rather that you've been in. If you've had a child in school and they've been really unhappy and you've decided to deregister because you now want to try and reconnect with them and help them to kind of come back down to earth, that actually ultimately you may not really know where to start. That they may be quite disconnected from you. You may feel like actually you're struggling to communicate with each other. There's some really lovely little ways that you can start to rebuild that. If you already feel like you've got a pretty good connection, then doing these two is not going to hurt. But ultimately, one of the best things you can do is to give them undivided attention for at least 10 minutes of proper paying attention, playing with them, reading with them, doing some Lego, going for a walk the dog with them and chatting to them whilst you're doing it. I don't know, listening to some music whilst you're making dinner together. Basically, trying to spend this time together in this really connected way. So listening to what they've got to say, listening to what they're curious about, listening to what kind of conversations they start, listening to the stories they tell you. Like if they've got questions about something, then taking the time to answer them. Even just those little moments when they ask you a random question and you actually take the time to stop what you're doing and answer them, look it up on Google, whatever you need to do, and actually help them to know what that's about, then great. But you can also kind of you can do like the odd kind of trip out, maybe if they feel up to that. So maybe kind of going to a museum or going to the woods or whatever really, but trying to do stuff that makes you feel really connected just as a little unit is great. For kind of just trying to reconnect with them, trying to actually get to know them a bit more again, trying to understand what it is that they're into, what they're worried about, what kind of hang-ups they've got, what kind of things they're struggling with, what they're feeling. Some children will not be able to communicate this, and that's also really, really common and really okay. And you can actually observe an awful lot just by watching if you know what you're looking for. But use things like the language, like let's explore, like I fancy an adventure, or show me what you've been doing, or tell me what you guys are playing, like what's the story that you're telling or whatever. Or saying something sort of like what feels fun today, what should we do that feels fun. And just kind of going along with what they suggest, just allowing them to take the lead a little bit and offering some ideas. Start to empower them, start to help them feeling like they've got some control over what happens next. And essentially what I want you to try and avoid here is it's so easy to be like, right, okay, I'm the grown up, I'm in control, I'm going to organize some trips, I'm going to organize some days out, I'm going to start going to these meetups and groups, I'm going to plan this topic and I'm going to print all this stuff off and here you go, this is what's important for you to learn about. And all of a sudden, we're basically creating school at home. There's an element of you are now the teacher. You are now in charge. You are now guiding and leading and making things happen. And your children may need some of that from you. It's not that they won't need all of it, but it is really important to remember that home education gives them an opportunity to feel very empowered in their education, to start to lead it, to offer ideas and like trajectories and topics. And they may have things that they like. You may, for example, they love horse riding. You know, they love horses. You know, they love horse riding. Then of course it makes sense. You know this already. You can say to them, do you want to do some horse riding lessons? Yeah, great. That'd be amazing. You book them if you can. That's great. Like that is something that you can obviously do. But if you like, it's good to observe. It's good to reflect to them and say, hey, I know that you really love this. Would you love to go and do something like that? Like get their buy-in. I know I made a lot of mistakes in the early stages, booking stuff in, thinking, well, they might enjoy doing that. And actually they didn't. And I then got angry because I'd spent a lot of money on, say, for example, gymnastics for a whole term, and they didn't want to do it. And I was dragging them there every week and be like, you just need to do it because I've paid for it now. There's a back in historical parenting that I just like roll my eyes at now. But ultimately we get resentful because we think you're going to be really good at this. I can see you would really like it, but you're just not even trying. But I never got their buy-in. And that was on me. I should have made sure that they wanted to do it before I actually forced them to. And And so ultimately, if you can spend some time reconnecting with them, learning about what they're really interested in, noticing what they love, having these conversations, suggesting some things to go do. And if they say no, then okay. But also remembering from the last episode, do not lose you in it. If you do need some social connection every week and you do need to start making some friends because you feel like you need some reassurance, you need someone to talk to, you need someone who can reflect back at you that, yes, I am making the right decisions. Yes, this is a good thing. Home education is a great thing, that my kids are going to do great. Like, if you need that, then go out there and get it. Do not sit at home because they never want to go anywhere. Compromise boundaries. We're allowed to have both. So you can work with them on this, but ultimately respecting their boundaries and understanding why they're setting them might mean you have an opportunity there to help empower them to choose to, like, for you to say, okay, well, I really need to go do something social. I know you're not really very keen. How can we compromise on this? Is it that you go to like one thing a week until they feel stable there? Is it that they bring their headphones and they get to just sit and listen to some music initially, or bring a book and they can sit and read quietly, or whatever it might be? Talk to them about what it is that they want to get from it. Maybe kind of encourage them to see how it could be great for them. But if they are really resistant to it, then maybe finding other ways for you to socialize and to reconnect with people is the way to go. So work on that together, reconnecting. And then obviously we've kind of touched on it a little bit already, but the last R was read or observe. So one of the things I'd really love you to do is to find a way of recording it, whether you send yourself a WhatsApp message, whether you scribble it down in a little notebook, whatever it is you want to do. But I want you to just try and observe things like what lit them up today, like what conversation made their eyes sparkle, like, or what were they playing that made them really happy, or something like that. Anything that has made them excited or happy, even if it seems completely irrelevant or random or not at all associated with education in your eyes. Like, what has lit them up? Like, what has made them happy? Can be anything. Doesn't have to be at all to do with home education even. What's frustrated them? So what challenges have they had? Like, have they been trying to make a Lego thing and got frustrated with how it ended, or couldn't find a piece? Or did they get frustrated with you because you were trying to get them to sit and do something with you and they didn't want to do it? Or did you ask them to go and, I don't know, tidy something up that they've been playing with and they didn't like it and it frustrated them? But start to just notice, not judging, not necessarily trying to fix right this immediate minute, but just noticing something that might have frustrated them. And then notice, where did you connect? Like, where did you have a moment where you managed to connect with each other? And then ultimately, at the end of each week, you can kind of have a look over those, and it gives you an opportunity then to see if there are some patterns there, if there are things which are bothering them, if there are things which are really exciting them. And it helps to give you some tools. It's the stuff that lit them up. So say, for example, you noticed they were really engaged and really happy whilst they were role playing with their Barbies. That then gives you a tool that you can use potentially for talking about social stories, like helping them to understand social behaviors, or it gives you a tool to help them to like, Barbies can come in the shower so that you can get through shower time a bit easier, because maybe they hate having a shower. Like, maybe the Barbie comes in the shower too, like whatever it might be, right? So you can use the things that light them up as tools to help them to do the things that frustrate them or they find hard. But one of the big kind of warnings with this one is to not overdo it. Try to be subtle. One of the things that can happen is, say, for example, they are massively into rainforests and they are watching YouTube videos and they've dug out a great book on it from the library and they've been drawing loads of cool pictures and they've been asking you to have colouring sheets, and you've talked about it a little bit in the car, and then you go, oh, I found this really great podcast, you fancy listening to it? And they loved that. And so you think, great, okay. And you go home and you get online and you print off 20 worksheets and you plan a trip to a rainforest thing, and you pay loads of money out to a class that they're going to do from now on. And like, oh, you even think, oh gosh, they could be an amazing jungle explorer one day. Look how amazing they are with this subject. And you go way over the top and you like do loads and loads and loads for that subject. Then actually sometimes you can kill it, which is really sad and really annoying. So I just wanted to give you a little warning to go gently with this, especially in these early stages, but all the time, like in the future as well. Go gently, ask permission, Do you want my help with this? Do you want me to do some more on this? Would you like to go and see this? Like, I don't want to go crazy with this because I don't want to ruin it for you. You seem to be really self-motivated with this right now. Like, allow them to lead it. Allow them to give you some prompts and ideas of what they want from you. But the more you notice what lights them up, the more tools you will have to try and help them to want to do more to do with the subject that they're already showing an interest in. So maybe that could be getting them a Lego parrot or something like that. Whatever. Okay. So that is the gist of our 3 R's. Regulate, reconnecting, and reading, observing. Take the time to do this. And ideally, keep some element of this practice up forever. But the goal is that this is going to give you a really solid foundation. It's going to help you to reconnect with them, to know what they need, to help them to meet their needs, to help you to meet their needs, and then to ultimately start to recognize what they like, how they learn, what they want to be doing, and how you can start to build a home ed lifestyle that makes sense for them in terms of their education, but also for yourself. It should hopefully get you meeting your needs and role modeling, doing that. It should hopefully get you spending some time reconnecting with them, which is going to feel great. It's going to feel so good. It's going to get you feeling like you're in control because you're actually noticing and seeing the things which matter. And that's going to help you start to feel like you have got some hope for the future of your home ed journey. Now, I really, really hope that you have found this helpful as a series. Obviously, there are things that go along with it. You've got the Get Your Head Straight to Home Ed workbook that you can grab. But there's also the first 30 days of home ed calendar, which essentially gives you loads of these little kind of prompts, similar to what we've talked about today, that helps you to kind of, each day you've got like one question or a suggestion for a type of thing you could try and do together today that will help you to slow down, to regulate together, to reconnect together, and to start to observe and notice what they love and what they don't love and how life is feeling right now. But ultimately, you have got some tools there to go away and use. You can grab those workbooks if you want to. They're just on the website. So offroadingmotherhood.co.uk/work-with-me. They're on that page. But I kind of just want to give you some permission slips here. It is okay for you to say no to all the busy work, to the practicing of maths, the practicing of reading, the practicing of writing, whatever it is that is stressing them out, is making you feel disconnected. It is okay for you to say no to that right now. It is also then okay for you to say, actually, I can't say no to that entirely because it's making me really stressed and it doesn't feel good in my body and it's making me really, really worried that if we don't start with some of that, that they'll never want to do it. Try and just sit with some of these feelings. Try and have some faith that it will all ease and relax and it will come back gently. But I want you to, the reason why I ask you to try and just observe for a little while is because you may find that going in too strong with some of these things from the outset means that they don't take the time to truly regulate and to feel what they actually want and need from their home education journey. So it's a good idea to try and give them some room and to allow them to come to these things naturally. And you'll notice that actually once you start really looking, and this takes a bit of practice, takes quite a lot of time to notice these things, but actually it's kind of everywhere. They're going to be doing it all the time without you even realizing it. But I want to also give you permission to follow their rabbit holes. You might have heard this phrase before. It's a very common ADHD phrase, going down a rabbit hole. But if they are on a random tangent, then just go with them. Go on that lovely journey together. You're going on an adventure, so do that. It's okay to just write a day off. It is okay to wake up. So I have written days off as I have woken up. That has definitely happened. Just be like, you know what? Today is just going to be a rest day. Today is not a day for any kind of intentional anythings. I am having a non-productive day. It is very, very tempting when we enter into this lovely free flow, no rigid structured routine lifestyle to start feeling like every day has to tick every box. It doesn't. Some days are going to be home admin days. Some days are going to be housework days. Some days are going to be home ed days. Some days are going to be a complete mismatch of all the things. Some days are going to be nothing days. Some days are going to be you feeling rubbish because you're due on, or because you've had something bad happen in your life and you're stressed about it, you're worried about it, and you can't think about it right now, it's okay. Those days are going to happen. You're not always going to be firing on all cylinders. And the truth is that a full-time education, in what we might imagine that to look like, is not the same amount of hours that they were in school. There's a really great article, I'll see if I can link it in the description for this episode, where a primary school teacher worked out how much time is being wasted every single day, and that essentially the actual time spent receiving education or doing educational things was something like, once you spread it out over the full year, so 365 days, it works out something like 45 minutes a day. So I really want to reassure you that however much you are imagining that you need to be doing every day to be able to tick off all the boxes and to make sure they achieve their goals is probably significantly less than you might realize. So please do try and rest into this, and just give yourself some permission to slow down and to sometimes write a day off, or to stop a day, or to start again. So, you know what? We're just going to start over. This isn't working. The whole system we've created is not working. I don't love it. You're not loving it. Let's go back to the drawing board. You're going to do that so many times, and it's okay. I really want to stress that it's fine. If you spend some time developing a system, or you spend some time with loads of, I don't know, you sorted out your calendar, it looks great, you've got loads of fun stuff going on, but actually you're finding that you're really tired, or they're really tired, or they're really grumpy, or like you're never having time to eat dinner or whatever, then let's rejig, let's rethink it, and make sure that you're doing that regularly and being kind to yourselves, meeting those needs all the time. So I hope this has been helpful. Okay. I want you to feel empowered to slow down and to embrace that reconnection, that regulation, that opportunity to observe and notice. I really don't want you feeling like you've got to rush headlong into having it all figured out, because you really don't. I am nearly 5 years in, 4.5 years in, something like that. And I have still absolutely not got it all figured out, because like all parenting, they change. Their needs change, their interests change, their routine changes, the things they need from me change. It's okay for it to keep shifting. And you are 100% doing a great job. I know this, and I know it for a fact because you have potentially seen your child not coping with nursery, with school. Maybe you have just seen them and just loved them so much that you want to spend as much time with them as possible, and you want to see those milestones happen, and you want to see them thrive and to feel good in their body and to meet their needs and to run around outside and to just be a kid for a bit longer. You have taken a step that has embraced a freedom for them that they never would have known otherwise. Never would have known otherwise. You have made that happen. And you are not sacrificing in this. You are about to gain one of the most incredible experiences ever. And all I can say is that if you can give yourself as much love and compassion and support as you possibly can in this slowing down process, in this embracing a different way of being and thinking and doing, that you will get to experience something really beautiful. So I hope this has been helpful. You need to be looking out for Ashley's book series. She is starting our Big Home Ed Conversations book club. She's going to be telling you all about some really great titles this month coming through September. And ultimately, she is doing that to give me a momentary break so that I can go and have a few weeks to do all of the other fun admin behind the scenes. The podcast is doing amazingly. We have got some incredible interviews lined up for season 4, which is all about fresh perspectives. We are looking at getting you some people to come and talk to us about kind of just putting ourselves in other people's shoes, recognizing that there are lots and lots of different people out there, that they all have really amazing kind of experiences and histories and things to offer, and that our kids may struggle to access some of these in a home educating environment if we don't create those opportunities for them. And so I really wanted to do a series on this, partly because I'm really trying to focus on it with mine and giving them great opportunities to learn about other people's perspectives. So hopefully that will make for a really good and jarring season filled with things which are going to hopefully make you really think. So Hopefully you'll love that. Do look out for that. It should be starting again beginning of October. And in the meantime, go and catch Ashley's book club episodes because they're going to be great. All right, guys, have a lovely, lovely week. Bye.